Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. My wife, the sex worker. My ex and I met in college. She was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. She always had a crowd of guys following her around. I had some classes with her over the 4 years, but I never pursued her because, well, all the other guys. One day after class, she asked if I would study with her, and the rest is history. So we married. Starting our careers in the same industry, different companies. A male-dominated industry. I found immediate success while she struggled. She changed jobs in the first year. She continued to struggle. In the third year she became pregnant with our first son. She worked through the pregnancy. A few weeks after giving birth, in a routine physical, her doctor asked to do a biopsy of her cervix. The results came back as precancerous cells were found. The drive advised if we wanted more children to do it as quickly as possible, as this will progress and a hysterectomy will be needed eventually. So when she was up to it, she became pregnant again. She gave birth again to a boy, within a year of each other. Afterward more tests were done and different doctors advised us to do the procedure now, as we should not wait. With 2 babies, still infants, she had her procedure done. She was heartbroken that she was done having children, as we had wanted a large family. She poured herself into being a great mother, and she was is. She became a arm. She took care of everything at home. Meanwhile, my career was moving along. I was offered a position with another company with a large salary bump. Life is good. When the boys went off to school, she volunteered at school and was a fixture there. I should mention that we had close friends we went to school with. A and B. We saw each other often. They started their family about the time we did. They have 1 son. The families went on vacations together, dinner, outings. We were best of friends. After the son was born, the mother went back to work and was very successful. B had a good job also until about 2001, where his job was eliminated. He struggled to find work in his field, as the economy back then really affected his field. So the decision was he would be a SAD while looking for work where we lived, as they did not want to move. The ex and B did things together with kids. When the kids were all in school, they still hung out. You can now guess they had an affair. This story I know is long but not over. After about a year of this hot sex in the AM, B asked ex if she and I had ever talked about a threesome. It was all fantasy talk with us, as we were still having a great, if not slowing down, sexual relationship. B had a friend he wanted to bring into the bedroom with them. The ex agreed. The day came and this guy C came over to B's house. He took his suit off as ex and B got warmed up. So they had their threesome. Afterward the guy told them that he usually had to pay for sex, so he left a couple $100 bills and asked ex if he could have a 1-1 with ex. She told him she needed to think about that and B would get back to him. Eventually C recommended someone else and a business was born. Eventually, B was re-employed and had to leave ex on her own. She used a different cell phone. She rented out a storage unit and made it her closet/office. She used the money to buy outfits her clientele requested. She even bought a car. She did not want her minivan spotted at a hotel. The guys had to pay for a room at a nice hotel. She kept the car at the storage unit. Everything was in cash. She never brought the money into our lives that I know of. Though we would send the kids to different day camps during summer. She claimed she tightened up our budget to pay for it. She only worked during school hours. She always picked the boys up at school. On a few rare occasions B would pick them up and keep them until she got home. Our home life never suffered. I admit I was working a ton and moving up the ladder. The weekends were our family time. Sex was generally on the weekends. I thought because of my work life this worked best. Most nights we would cuddle on the couch watching TV. Almost done. 2016 comes along, we have 1 son in college, the other a senior in HS. I get a call from B. X is in the hospital. He was vague but said she is hurt bad. I rush to the hospital. My wife is hooked to a bunch of machines. They have already cleaned her up and taken her for x-rays. She has a broken jaw, broken nose, fractured orbital bone, possible concussion. She will make it but will be a long road ahead. A police officer was finishing up and left. I of course want to know what happened. She was crying, talking gibberish through her sobs and pain meds. A nurse said I should let her rest. They were moving her to a room soon. She handed me a bag with her clothes. I looked in and asked if these were hers because she never wears heels and the dress was unfamiliar. The nurse said this is what they brought from the hotel room. So they pushed me out of the room. I called my sons to let them know. Later that night, when the fog of the drugs were wearing off, I got some of the story. She drifted off again. I had my youngest son sit in with her and I called B. Why did he call me? How did he know before me? What's going on? So B came clean about what my wife was up to, leaving out the affair and his involvement. I was devastated. We eventually get her home after surgery on her jaw. The nose would wait. She convalesced at home. As she got stronger, I got the whole story. I called A and told of the affair and B as a pimp. She threw B out. As she got on her feet, I told her we were done. I asked her to move out. She moved in with B. I got the divorce rolling. I am sitting here 5 years divorced. I still love her. It is as if she had died. The grief is unbearable. My boys know what she did. I have not spoken to her since she left. Wow, B should get arrested for being a pimp to your wife. I don't care. Glad you moved on. I am trying. I was hoping getting this post would be cathartic. I need to get on with life. I have made an appointment with a therapist. Glad to hear about that. Hopefully you'll be nice and healed up in no time. Loser cheat again a life. Man, I don't blame you for getting stuck with this. I read this 2 days ago and throughout the day I keep finding myself mulling over this. How can someone do something like this? What was her motivation? What did she think when she was with you? I can't really wrap my head around it. For you it must be like that at the nth degree. I hope therapy works for you. I know that I wouldn't be able to get over something like this on my own. I think that you were on point at cutting all contact at the time, to not let yourself get wrapped up when you were most vulnerable. Have you considered reaching out now to get some closure? Or you think it would just be opening up again the wound? I suppose I will have contact again, as my sons start their own families. I am contemplating moving far away and just starting over. Yeah, I was thinking about that. She will be there for their weddings, and grandsons' birthdays and so on. I know I can't run away. I need to be in my sons' lives. I still live in the same house with 20+ years of memories. Maybe a move across town. I will discuss all this when therapy starts. I might be blessed because I want to know how someone can do something like that, but it might be better to have a confrontation before an event like a son's wedding, where a conflict might hurt one of them. Whatever you end up doing, I wish you and your sons the best. You can rebuild your life. Don't waste more time. Thank you. There will be no confrontation in the near future. Neither son has a steady GF and I will be starting counseling soon. Is she still living with B? Are your sons on good terms with her? Is she still a prostitute? I have no idea what she is doing. The boys do see her but they know never to talk about her to me. They were better than me then. If I found out my mom was doing this, my relationship with her would be over. Wow. Why do the kids continue to see her? What do they think of her? She is their mother. She never let her job get in the way of that. I have no idea what they think of her. We do not talk about her. I don't understand how cheating on their dad could not get in the way of that. Hopefully they are not negatively affected. I know that I would never talk to my mother again after all that. I have 2 great sons that have turned into great men. Wow, WTF. Did you have to pay her alimony and how was the divorce process? I edited the post because of the length. I told her she only gets her clothes, or in the divorce I tell the court and her family why we are divorcing. You should tell her family anyways after the divorce is done. If you can, of course. I have had almost 5 years to tell them. I mean no disrespect to them. I have no idea what she told them. The divorce was unrecognizable differences. Oh yeah, it's been 5 years. I definitely would have told them, mostly because if I were them I would want to know. What so she got to save face when in front of her family? I have no idea what she told them. Her family was blindsided by the divorce. I never told them why. Update: my wife is a sex worker. I originally posted a few weeks ago. You can check my profile. I did not update as there really was not anything to say. Until last night. I received a call from my oldest son, R, who is out of town for the holiday weekend. A friend called him to tell him his brother, S, had been in a motorcycle accident. He was with him but did not see the accident as he was riding ahead. I rushed to the hospital ER. They were cleaning S and were sending him for X-rays. I was told to have a seat and the doctor would be out. A few minutes later, as I had my head leaning back and my eyes closed, I heard my name. I look up and my ex is standing in the doorway. She asked for news. I said I was waiting. She asked if she could sit with me. I invited her to a seat near me. I have not seen her in 5 years since the divorce happened. I did not know what to expect. I assumed that she would be disfigured from her beating. She was not, although her face was not as flawless as I remember. The one thing I did see was that her eyes no longer sparkled. This was a feature I never got enough of. Even with a mask on, her eyes did not look the same. Funny, what you notice. When she smiled, her face used to just light up. I imagine she just has a resting bitch face now. Anyway, while waiting we had a nervous catching up talk. She mentioned she liked the landscaping I did and how the plants now matured really look nice. This tells me she has been by the house where I have no idea where she lives, and my sons were told never to mention her to me. During the and after the divorce, I tried to purge any remembrance of her. I replaced the bushes in the yard as it was something she had planned and planted. I did not mention that the inside of the house was redone also. I even ripped out a wall. I had a construction dumpster in the driveway for many months. She asked how I was doing. I don't know why, but I was honest that I had put myself at a standstill by working too much. However, I recently have been to a therapist and joined a gym. I also have taken up bike riding. She volunteered that she no longer just left it there unsaid. She stayed with me a couple months. She also was seeing a counselor who encouraged her to take some college courses in her degree field. That took a couple years. She is now employed full-time. She said she has dated minimally, leaving the statement open for me to answer. I figured the boys were keeping her up to date on me, so I had nothing to add. The doctor appeared and discussed the extent of injuries. The most serious was to his foot and ankle pinned under the bike when it went down. They had scheduled him for surgery today. Everything is good, he just needs to heal and rehab. So he will be in until at least tomorrow, depending on his head injury, slight concussion. I offered my house to stay as I have the room and can work from home. We will finalize that today, although that means his mother will want to visit. That will be a healing process for me. Take your time, check your feelings, baby steps. Is okay to be cordial, it doesn't mean that you are a gentleman, and you may need help to take care of your son. I will be polite. I would think she would want to help. I figure you got this, let us know how it goes. I bet she does. Just give her a guest room, and keep your emotional distance. Being a gentleman/good man isn't hard, it's merely doing the right thing. If she doesn't live in your area anymore, offering a place to sleep is doing the right thing. She lives close by. I will not let her stay over if I am there. Don't let her stay if you are not there. If I were in your shoes, she would only be allowed over for brief visits. Oh, okay, I didn't know if she was local or not. I'm amazed that you kept calm. I wouldn't even have talked to her, only about your children's situation. I don't think she regrets, but okay, are you? Why not try dating again? I am not in the right headspace to date. Many said when I originally posted to seek counseling because I had not moved forward. I have seen a therapist and am taking steps. Good. You're moving in the right direction. Be polite and correct. You're a good man. Just keep your cool. Thank you. I read your first post and this one. I know it must still be painful after 5 years. I'm so very sorry this has happened to you. It has been only about a month since your first post. How is therapy going? Are you still not dating? I can surely understand why. Man, my heart just breaks for you. In the hospital waiting room, did you and your ex speak more than the few words you mentioned above? Also, when you brought her home to heal after her beating, was she very forthcoming or was it hard to get the truth out of her? Did she at least say sorry, as if it would mean anything anyway? Did she show remorse for all she did? I have not dated. Therapy has been rewarding. I am exercising, doing things for myself. We talked about other things, but what I covered here was updating the first post. When I got her home, she told me how it started, how it worked, how long. She did not name clients. She answered my questions. I think she thought we would work this out. I thought a good marriage. I was caught totally unaware. She did apologize and showed remorse when everything hit the fan. Did the guy who beat her up get arrested? I don't think so. Man. This was a rough one to read. I'm so sorry she did this. What's her relationship with her sons like? Who knows what happened? Her family? Your family? Her friends? This is just one hell of an ask to sit on something this painful. I've never seen anything like it. Please circle around in a few months and post your progress. Get out and live a little, man. You earned the right to be happy in this life. How long did she recover at your house? About 3 weeks or so. Until she felt she could move around without tremendous pain. I hope I haven't been irritating you with so many questions. Forgive me if I have. I must go, my wife is putting out dinner. I pray one day you find a loyal, beautiful, really good woman, similar to the traits my wife possesses. You deserve it and you deserve peace and to trust again one day. Thank you. Do you think she moved in with B because she had nowhere else to go? She had her hooker money, but after you kicked her out, I doubt after a beating like that she could mentally or physically take care of herself. That is exactly how I feel. We were very close to A and B, although they were separated we still communicated. It kind of dropped off the radar when they divorced. Did they divorced before or after your ex-hot beat up? After. So I guess when she got assaulted, that was when you found out everything and called A and let her know what was going on? Did I even believe you on the first phone call to her? I'm sure you didn't have all the info at the time. I assume that your wife worked backward from the assault. Also, because the two couples were so close, why did A or you not try to stay in contact with each other? Did you or her just feel too humiliated even though you did nothing wrong? I may be projecting how I would have felt onto you, I realize. Did you have any friends or family you could tell and lean on this whole time? I called A about their affair. B had told her about the assault. We stay in contact for a while. Then she moved to start her new life and we drifted apart. Did A and B have kids? It seems like with you and A being the victims in all this, and were good friends before all this happened, maybe you would be curious about how she is handling all this. Maybe reaching out to just see how she is doing 5 years later might help you or her. In some way. But maybe the pain is just too much. They had one son who is now in his early 20s. I contacted A after my first post. Many had suggested I catch up. She is doing great. She remarried and is a stepmom to 2. I remember this story. She had an affair and then after a threesome with her AP the other guy offered her money for a one-on-one and then she started taking money to hook up with other guys and it went on for well over 10 years. One of her Johns put her in the hospital and that's how she was caught. Still wonder how much money she made and if she still has any. Well, she lived 2 years and went back to college without a job. I hope the IRS reads this post. So what? She was making money. Why be a baby about the whole matter? Hey op, I am happy and inspired at the same time. This story needs one more update. Smile. I hope not. Lol. Op. I first saw your story on and it is by far one of the most tragic cheating stories I have heard/read. I can't even begin to fathom the level of pain you must have had to endure over the years. I wish you had started seeing a therapist sooner, but I'm glad you're finally doing it. I hope over time you can heal yourself. You are one of the biggest men I have not had the pleasure of meeting with yet. To be able to help heal your ex from the assault and then not want to destroy her completely in public and legally takes an extreme level of self-control in a situation like this. And this was all after she exposed you and your kids to more than a decade of deadly diseases. You, sir, are a cut above most others. Please take pride in that. Do her parents and siblings, if any, know? I left it up to her to tell her family. I'm sure you don't know what she told her family, but do you have a guess? Did you hear from the grapevine? I'm sure she, like all cheaters, tried to make herself look the best she could in their eyes. Did her parents or siblings or anything call you? If they heard she was hurt, I'm sure they must have. Link? Reading this and your prior post, I'd like to offer a word of caution in regards to your ex and how you're handling her. Don't underestimate her. I know deep down you're carrying the warring feelings of loving who she was and loathing who she is. But don't let those feelings cause you to underestimate her and what she might be capable of. From what you've said about her, I can't tell if she was just a really foolish adulteress, or a downright psychopath. But when you're a sex worker for that long, one of the first things you learn even before learning to convincingly fake an orgasm is how to fake emotions. Something I've heard consistently from sex workers is the number of guys who come to them looking as much for an emotional outlet as a sexual one, and learning how to fake sympathy and empathy is a required skill. So her sounding contrite, just be very, very careful going forward. Nobody takes a physical beating like that and comes out the other side of it entirely normal. Especially not followed by a divorce and whatever shunning she received from friends and family. Good point. I didn't even think about hookers needing to learn to fake emotions. That idea really blew me away. Thank you, I will keep that in mind. He says that she has stopped, but how will you ever know if she is telling you the truth? After all the deception she put you through? I guess you don't really know when someone tells you the truth. You just have to accept it as the truth or not. It does not matter to me if she still is. That's all on her. Yes, I totally get that. Why do you think she told you she stopped? I know you don't care, but do you think she realizes now just how bad she fucked up her life? Some people have an epiphany and finally get it, but others don't. I don't mean to be nosy, but how old is your wife now? You hadn't seen her in 5 years, and you said her face was not as flawless as it once was and the sparkle wasn't in her eyes. I picture a 65-year woman, with wrinkles, hair kind of brittle and thinning, still trying to dress like she is a hot 40. We are in our late 40s. Yes, I think she wanted me to know she has realized the bad and has stopped. I've read your whole story and most of the comments. To say it was all heartbreaking is the understatement of the year. I can't begin to understand how you're feeling right now though. I sense that some small part of you was happy to see her, and that you still love her. That is also heartbreaking. I suppose seeing her come and go in the home, if you allow yourself to be there, may be cathartic, but I would imagine it could also drag up a lot of the feelings you still have about it since you really haven't moved on completely. I also get the sense that she wants to explain herself to you, to possibly get some closure, and to express how she feels. I believe I would allow her to do that. It won't change anything, but it might help you to get some closure and move off of that sticking point you're on. I am really hoping that you do get closure. I mean, you've suffered enough. Would I get back with her if it was me? I doubt it. Too much water under the bridge, too large of a betrayal, but I don't know. Love is a funny thing. Just know that I would understand if you did and wouldn't judge you at all for it. I'm not a pray for you kind of guy, but I sure send my best hopes for you and the boy's future. I don't know how much she will be over. My plan would be to go out of the house when she visits my son, leaving them alone. I am not sure how long Heck will be here. He is already wanting to go to his place. He has only been here a few hours. It's getting him to rehab when that starts that will be needed to coordinate and communicate. Totally understand, not like you need me, and internet stranger to validate your plans or anything, just hoping for the best outcome for you. And really, what could she say? I'm a sociopath that thought I could get away with the ultimate betrayal, hide it forever while squirreling away mounds of cash, and you'd never know, so it would have been all cool? My bad for getting busted, but we can still work it out, right? Yeah. Like I said. I totally get why you're still no contact. Probably for the best. Glad your son is recovering. Rehab is a marvelous thing. Peace, brother. Update 2, my wife is a sex worker. My son is healing well. He still has a way to go. We have decided he will stay here while convalescing. He wants to go back to work next week. His boss is setting up something so he can work from home. I barely get him in the back seat of my SUV, as he has to stretch out. It would be a nightmare driving him to work and back every day. Everyone has been asking about the ex coming over. I leave when she comes. I go to the gym or a bike ride. My oldest son has tried to have a sit-down dinner with the four of us, but I shut it down. She has been very gracious. She has not tried to force anything. She comes over and sits with our son. She will cook dinner for them. She brings groceries when she cooks. Sometimes his friends come over and it gets a bit rowdy for me, but he forgets about his problem when there are visitors. To say we never talk would be untrue. Our conversations do not stray from our sons or their lives. I hope you continue to heal. Thanks for the update. You're a stand-up man/father. And, despite what your despicable ex put you through, even a stand-up ex, please put yourself out there again. Find happiness with another woman. A woman that deserves you. They're out there. Find one that will put that sparkle back in your eyes. It's time. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.